Now, before we talk about any match in particular, something that is very important to each superstar is their entrance, because their entrance is the one thing, the one chance that they really have to get their character over. You talk about a guy like Finn Balor, the Demon King, right? The whole entrance is the whole thing that makes the character, because maybe once the wrestler or superstar makes their way to the ring, maybe things get toned down a little bit. So the next award that we're going to be talking about is Best Entrance in 2016. Now, we got a lot of different picks here. So, Keith, do you want to be the one to read them out?
Sure. So our list in no particular order at this time is Finn Balor, just his entrance in general, Rich Swann's entrance in general, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Shinsuke Nakamura, TJ Perkins, Bray Wyatt / the Wyatt family, the New Day's entrance at WrestleMania, and Baron Corbin.
Tic-tac-toeing. No, Connect Four.
Connect Four. Connect Four.
Connect Four.
Is there anybody in this list that shouldn't be in here? Anybody that you can make a strong argument to remove?
I honestly think that TJ Perkins does not belong on this list.
Wow.
It was cool once, but it lost its lackluster very fast, especially with the whole...
Wait. You mean it lost its luster?
Yes, it lost its luster. Yes, sorry. It lost its luster.
Like, what is the one thing that makes that entrance then, or any entrance, right? Like, so maybe the coolest part of his entrance is the intro, right? With the lower part and then the max HP. Once he comes out, maybe it does become normal.
To me, an entrance is selling... If it's an effective entrance, if it sells you on the character, and if that character becomes stronger because of the entrance, it's really the sales pitch of a superstar. And with TJ Perkins, it's like, gamer, you guys like the Mega Man, right? Well, I'm the Mega Man. And it's really cool, and it's like, it hits that video game culture thing, but it's not a very good entrance. It's cool, but not good. So I can easily name 3 entrances that are way better than TJ Perkins.
All right, well, as far as the ones I would cut, I would keep TJ Perkins. First of all, my argument is that I think there's almost no superstar right now that has a better Titantron, like the new set, like Ramp Titantron,
but
all that stuff.
But let me ask you with
the music.
Is it because you like it on its own, or is it because it's a strong entrance for building TJ Perkins as a character? Like, the fact that it's cool on its own merit, does that make it better than something that's actually a good entrance for a superstar?
It is a good entrance. I think there's a lot of things that can go into a good entrance. And I think in this case, the combination of the music and like the graphical effects with the Titantron and all of that make for a really cool entrance, and it makes you kind of want to pay attention to this guy, even if some of the other stuff about TJ Perkins has kind of fallen flat. I think the entrance itself is amazing. The things I would probably cut here, well, it's really tough. You have Bray Wyatt on here, but there's nothing. It's like, it's tough to just kind of look at Bray Wyatt's entrance because we've seen it. Like, nothing has really been reinvented.
And it's not 2016, right?
Yeah. It's like Bray Wyatt's entrance has not been... It hasn't done anything new this year that would make me want to throw it an award.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Baron Corbin...
I can get behind that.
Like, Connect 4 is cool, but like TJ Perkins' entrance is way better than Baron Corbin's, in my opinion.
I would totally cut Baron Corbin. And I want to make one question to you, Ryan. So... with TJ Perkins, the whole initial part is over, right? So he does his whole thing, gamer part. Once he comes out, is there any part of that entrance that you still think is worthy of an entrance of the year or like a top 10? Or do you think the magic sort of wears off after a while?
Well, I mean, he does his like little... what is it called? Dabbing or whatever the heck?
Yes, dabbing.
God, you're 100 years old right now.
Is that what it's called though?
Yeah,
right?
it's called dabbing.
Yeah.
Oh, he's doing those damn dabs.
You know, he sneezes into his arm, and then
it totally looks like that.
Yeah, I think it's actually supposed to look like that, but who knows?
I don't watch the
MTV. All right.
Here's my question to you though, Ryan.
Yes.
we're breaking this down to 3.
Yeah.
Can you make a fight for TJ Perkins being better than 3 other people on this list?
Can I make a case?
We're in with AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Shinsuke Nakamura, Finn Balor, and the New Day at WrestleMania. Does TJ Perkins hang with stuff like that? And I think that answer is absolutely
Better question. Not. Should we just cut these 3 people off? I think they were talking about 3 guys that ultimately they're not going to be even in the top 5 for me. That's just me, though.
Wyatt, Corbin, and Perkins, can we cut all 3 of those?
If this was 2015, maybe I would say for Wyatt.
Let me put it this way, and maybe a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but to me, TJ Perkins' entrance is cooler than AJ Styles' entrance.
I agree with you, but I would also cut AJ Styles from this.
So should we just cut all of them then?
Yeah, we got no winner, but we do agree to remove those 3 guys.
Well, that's what I meant. Cut all the ones we mentioned. We cut Corbin,
I'm cutting
Perkins,
Baron Corbin, Bray Wyatt, TJ Perkins, and AJ Styles.
Let's do the next bunch of 3, right? So if we just remove Perkins, Wyatt, and Corbin, or the next ones maybe AJ Styles. Oof, it does get tougher here.
For the same reasons that we cut Bray Wyatt, can we cut Finn Balor? Because yes, it was the entrance's debut in the WWE, but it's really nothing that didn't translate into from 2015. Like there wasn't anything new from it this year.
I think there's 2 parts of it, because the problem is that, we do watch NXT, so yeah, we've seen this before, but at some point you kind of got to go like, okay, with Bray Wyatt, in WWE, he's had the same entrance since 2015, since main roster, but with Balor, a lot of people hadn't seen that before, right? And even there was a build-up, even though it was basically one time. I mean, no, twice actually, because he had the one on Raw, which I still never got the point of that, and then we got the one on the pay-per-view.
All right, you know who actually should be an honorable mention on this list? And
there's no honorable mentions.
Well, I was just gonna say it's a travesty that they're not on this list. Is Naomi? I totally forgot to put her on this
Naomi
list.
should be.
Do you want to add Naomi? All right, let's add Naomi to the list.
Yeah, I think Naomi should be on this list.
And she's added that. Hey, check it out, high quality. There it is, right there.
Impromptu. She had definitely one of the cooler entrances this year. She's got all the glow stuff and the effects. So hers is better than TJ Perkins. I'll say that.
So as much as I love it, and if this was best theme, I would fight this to the death. I think Rich Swann should go. I can't handle saying those words, but I think it should go.
Yeah.
Because it's mostly just a theme that's just so goddamn
speaking
good.
Of just a theme, I know Samoa Joe's theme works really, really well for him. Is there anything else that you guys want to mention about Joe's entrance that really brings it? I mean, obviously his presence plus the music is a great combination.
When you look at everybody else, Finn Balor, like you got face paint, you got so many things that it's almost cheap, right? Where, oh, come on, you're given all these elements, but then Samoa Joe, he's a bad guy. So you're supposed to feel like he is a menace when he comes out. When he comes out, what does he do? Nothing. He stares into that ring like he owns the place. The music goes along well with it. There's no pyro, nothing flashy, but I feel like he's a superstar, right? And I think that we kind of can't just go, oh, the music's good, oh, the lighting's good. Okay, but it's about the entrance. And the entrance ultimately has to get the character over. So based on that, we got a lot of flashy stuff with Rich Swann and Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt with the lights and all that. Samoa Joe is my favorite entrance. Dare I even say over Nakamura, because Nakamura, he's got all that cool stuff. But Joe, I feel like he is one of the only good heels in 2016. And that
Samoa Joe's entrance, it goes back to that whole thing of selling a superstar in an entrance where it's not flashy, it's not really technical, but everything you need to know about Samoa Joe is told through that entrance, through the music, his facial expression. You know that he is a big man, he means business, and he will rip your head clean off of your shoulders if he wants to. Just everything about Samoa Joe is told through that entrance, and that's why I love it.
I will agree with you there, but I'm just gonna give my top 3, and we can work from there. Is I will put Finn Balor at number 3 because I can't help but I like, if we're talking best entrances, it's got to have something special to it. Joe, he has the presence and the music, but if we're talking just awesome entrances, I got to go Balor, then New Day at WrestleMania, and then Shinsuke Nakamura as my number 1. Nakamura, he has the presence, the charisma in his entrance. The theme just goes so perfectly with it. Probably has the best theme of the year. So Nakamura is my number 1.
So my top 3 would probably be the New Day at WrestleMania at number 3, Samoa Joe at number 2, and then Shinsuke Nakamura at number 1.
So basically, AJ Styles, Naomi, you made the list. You just made the list.
Naomi
For a
needed an
hot
honorable
second.
mention.
For a hot second.
Yeah.
But now we're cutting Naomi.
Okay, well, though we do got to have that conversation a bit because, Ryan, you just mentioned all the flashy stuff. You both mentioned Nakamura, but Naomi should at least be considered she should be in the top 5, right? I think that if we're talking about entrances, she is a top 5, even if she doesn't make the top 3 for whatever reason, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
So I do see
But
Nakamura, so
unfortunately,
that's sticking around.
it's a top 3.
New Day, you both have New Day, so that pretty much makes it. Now,
It's
Keith
just that
did not
final
choose Balor.
spot. No.
Ryan did. So my list is Nakamura, Joe, and yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Balor as well. I'm not feeling great in many entrances this year. I think
So
that we
AJ
needed more.
Styles.
Yeah,
AJ
AJ's
Styles
gone.
gets cut. Okay.
AJ's
I'm cutting
gone.
AJ.
Swan is gone. So we are now left with Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Shinsuke Nakamura, and we got the New Day. Those are the 4 that are on the list right now.
So let's talk about the New Day at WrestleMania. They
Let's
came
talk
out
about
of a
that.
cereal box dressed as Saiyans. How
That's
is that
amazing.
not the coolest damn thing that happened this year? Just at WrestleMania, this is supposed to be the big show, the big serious show.
The costumes is what carries it, and none of us put it as a number 1, but we all love it. We all love Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, though, they came out in the outfits, but then really not too much else happened after that.
Well,
So
they carried around one of those giant bootios for months.
Yeah.
Because there was the
And
cereal
they
box
even
part of it
signed
as
that.
well.
And had it in auction, so that
They
entrance
did, but
made them money.
As far as an actual entrance goes, it was really, they came out of the cereal box, and then they pretty much cut a promo, right?
Yeah,
So,
but they came out of a giant cereal box
Yes.
dressed as Saiyans. It's
I'm
the
just
coolest.
saying it was not a complete entrance, but even that still made my top 3.
Mm-hmm.
Who's
So
the number
Juan,
one?
how come it didn't make your top 3?
Because it was cool, but being perfectly honest, I didn't care about what they did at WrestleMania. I think that part there, entrance aside, the entrance to me in WrestleMania, when you look at a Triple H for an entrance or something like that, his entrances are made because, okay, here we go in battle. New Day, they were in a spot that I just didn't care about too much. So when you look at it from that standpoint, I'm okay, top 5, but it's not my number 1. Maybe I could put it at number 3, but I'd just kind of be saying it to agree with you guys for the most part. But my number 1, I think we should do it the same way we did the catchphrase. So what is our number 1? Is it Nakamura? Based on what you guys have been talking about?
Yeah,
Yes.
I have that as my number 1.
It's the only entrance this year that gave me chills the first time I saw it, legit chills. Just that moment at NXT TakeOver Dallas when he first came out and you heard the intro and then to go into the violin. It's really a special moment, and it still feels special. It's not every time now, but I still get chills from Nakamura's entrance. It's a thing of beauty, and it by a mile it is the best entrance this
And
year.
like you mentioned, he even did have some special ones. I forgot because he had 2 different violin entrances. The first one was the solo one Then the other one was like with a bunch of different violin players. So.
All of the violinists. And honestly, I like his generic, like non-special entrance better. I would say it's even better than the special violin entrances. Those extra bits are just there for the sake of being there. It's awesome without it, and I don't think it's needed, but Nakamura's entrance is so good that it can hold its own as the number one spot.
So number one, we do have Shinsuke Nakamura. Also involved in the list, we do have then the New Day still. We still have Samoa Joe. Is Joe either number 3 or 4? Because Ryan didn't even nominate him. So Keith and I are the only ones making the case. So is he in the top 3 overall for Byte That?
For me, I would say yes. Samoa Joe is in there for all the reasons we mentioned earlier. It's basically how to do simplicity perfectly in an entrance and just hit all of the points you need to hit. I would honestly cut Balor at this point. Take Balor off, make it Samoa Joe, the New Day, and then Nakamura.
Samoa Joe, New Day, and Nakamura. Okay, so what you're planning, and then Ryan, you choose to maybe agree or disagree. You're saying number 1 Nakamura, number 2 New Day, number 3 Samoa Joe? Take a sip of water, my friend. But is that what you're saying, Keith?
Yes. I'm sorry, I thought you were talking to Ryan.
No, I was talking to you now.
Oh,
Ryan,
okay, yes.
Do you dispute that with another option?
So we had New Day at number 2, right?
New Day number 2, Joe at number 3.
Joe at number 3. I'm willing to concede that. Balor didn't really reinvent his entrance at all this year. It is still a good entrance, but yes, I'm willing to concede that because someone's gonna concede something because we were stuck in a point where Joe got 2 votes, Balor got 2 votes, so we gotta make some room here.
Indeed.
I totally understand your guys' point on Joe, and you know what? It's a much different way to appreciate an entrance than most people would with all the bells and whistles, where this is just purely raw. This is just a guy coming out to some music. The same reason Stone Cold Steve Austin's entrance is so great. So yes, I will give it to Joe.
And all that being said, I would still say it's a very close 4th place for Balor. Like, it's still a really, really, really good entrance and one of the coolest things they've done in a long time. But
even when he grabs the NXT Championship, I think the problem is that sometimes maybe, at least for me, I didn't like some of the entrances, the entrance attires. Like, remember he wore that one that had like a lot of blue in it? I wasn't
there was
feeling
like that
one.
Jack, and there was that Jack the Ripper thing they did at NXT
which was weird.
London.
It was just weird.
Yeah.
Like, I get what they tried to do, but I don't know. I think that progressively it started to wear off because I remember people even commenting, oh, is this just a pay-per-view attire? Because the whole reason, and let's not forget that the whole reason Finn Balor did that is because a feud warranted, right? Like that outfit. But then it just became the takeover outfit. But why are you turning to the demon? And I think that even the Demon King actually did a little bit of the damage to that entrance because when I think about that, I'm like, come on, stop forcing it. Just let it be its own thing. So for that alone, yeah, I can't have it be in the top 3. So without further ado, Byte That's 2016 Entrance of the Year officially goes to Shinsuke Nakamura. So an NXT superstar does get that, followed by the New Day's entrance at WrestleMania at number 2. And number 3, another NXT superstar, current champion Samoa Joe. Actually, not current champion. Depends on when you're listening to this, but things happen.
Ooh, God.
You may think the journey's over, but it's far from it because we have over 10 different categories in the award show, so you can check out 2 more of them right now on screen. You can also subscribe and check out the podcast available every single Wednesday because that makes us smile.